Why, hello there. It's David. Welcome to my garden. I thought I'd do a March garden tour. It's now spring and there's a lot of activity in the garden, so let's get right into it. Here we have a beautiful Tricho hybrid. Today is partly cloudy and a bit cool, so these flowers haven't quite opened up all the way. Sadly, the flowers are also quite short-lived, so I'm hoping for nicer weather when the other buds open up. We're also supposed to get some rain tonight. I'm really hoping that it does rain as it's been quite dry here the past few months. This other Tricho cactus with yellow flowers has even more blooms than the other one. The osteospermum are still in bloom. They add some really nice color to the early spring garden. I also see that they're looking pretty dry right now, so they'll definitely appreciate that rain tonight. Nice flowers on the Echeveria. This grevillea has bright red blooms, and I've noticed it's been attracting the hummingbirds. The orange ice plants have certainly been the most eye-catching flowers in my garden this month. I've noticed several of my Gasteria have flower buds forming on them. This little Gasteria bicolor has two bloom spikes started, or buds starting. The first buds are just about open on the older of the two flower spikes. Here's another grevillea, King's Fire. I've also noticed flower buds forming on this plant. When it is in bloom, I've noticed the honeybees love this one. Another Gasteria. This one is a Senecia Folia, and I see a branching flower spike forming. Milkweed. I haven't noticed any monarchs yet this year. This Hesper Aloe or False Yucca has a couple bloom spikes forming. Here is my Toothpick Cactus, which I haven't shown for a while. I haven't noticed too much growth on this plant yet. Oh my gosh, do you see that hummingbird? This is a Aloe Striata, also known as coral aloe. And as you can see, it's a hummingbird magnet. In the wild, these aloes would be pollinated by sunbirds instead of hummingbirds. The sunbirds would rest on a branch just like that to drink nectar from the flower. And there she goes. Well, that was nice to have a little visitor in the garden. Aloe White Fox with one flower spike in bloom and another on the way. This ice plant has the cultivar name Wheels on Fire, and I swear this plant has flowers on it 365 days of the year. Not as many flowers in the middle of winter as there are now, but there always seems to be some flowers on it. This Stickia grape jelly has three bloom spikes forming. Plicatillus and Aloe rubro violaceae. The little cactus planted on the rock is still doing pretty well. This Senecio has started to go to seed. Let's go take a look at this Pharaoh Cactus, which I noticed has started to bloom. This is Pharaoh Cactus glaucescens. It has small yellow flowers. The plant itself is also looking a little yellow right now. I believe it might be a pH issue with the soil, so I'll be keeping my eye on that. This is Opuntia Viola. I have some planted on each side of the driveway. I noticed the plant on this side only has a few new growths started, but there are quite a bit of flower buds forming on this one. Let's see what else is going on in the sunbed. The cactus with the pink flowers is Mammillaria spinosissima. Another cactus that is blooming right now is this one with the red flowers, which is a claret cup cactus. It's looking a little wrinkly, so I think it will also appreciate the rain tonight. This aloe I don't have the ID for, but I wish I did because it's quite nice, and it always seems to be in bloom. This is Treiko epicenter, and you can see the flower buds just starting. Not much else has changed in this bed, so let's go take a quick look at the other side of the driveway. This is the other group of Opuntia Violaceae. As you can see, there are a lot more growth started on these plants, but I haven't noticed any flower buds yet like the plants on the other side. These African daisies are still blooming, but I think they're just about toward the end. I noticed on this puya that there are a couple new growths started on the backside of the plant. They're a little hard to see, but I swear they're there. The Grevillea juniperina is still in bloom. Another Dickia grape jelly. This one doesn't seem to have as many bloom spikes as the one on the other side. This is Aloe Camaroni, and it has finished blooming. This is a bottle brush, which has just started to bloom. This is a dwarf variety, so it should stay as a small shrub. This is a type of euphorbia. I like the way that the dark leaves contrast against my light-colored gravel. Down here I have a type of bromeliad that is native to Texas. I've noticed that these plants very easily catch leaves and all type of debris in their spines. So I've been thinking about moving these plants into pots instead, where I think it will be easier to keep them clean. Before we end, I thought we'd take a look at the two succulent cutout beds. First, you'll notice the orange California poppy. This is a volunteer plant that I thought I'd just let ride here. Another Gasteria just starting to bloom. There are actually 3 plants here, but only one of them decided to send up a bloom spike. Here's the Aeonium Kiwi that I propagated in an earlier video. I actually had to transplant some succulents since the California poppy started to take over. I think that small cactus down there still might need to be moved. Now let's see the other cutout. This large succulent with the pink flowers is a rock purslane, and it grows like a weed here. After it flowers, I actually cut back the stems all the way, and it grows back this much every year. I've added a terracotta pot here because I want to bring some height to this bed, but I want to find two matching pots a bit bigger than this one. A couple of varieties of kalanchoe in bloom. Then down here, I have a bit of a blank spot. I want to add a second terracotta pot to put in the back here, and I need to find a few more plants for this end. Alright y'all, this is the end of the March garden tour. If you enjoy cactus and succulents like I do, make sure you're subscribed and like this video as it helps other plant lovers find my videos. I hope everyone has had a wonderful start to the spring, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!